Hello and welcome to this episode of Creating with Howcraft. My name is Denise Yesback-Moore with howcraftcollection.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create my Redondo earrings. The tools and supplies you will need to create these earrings are round nose pliers, wire cutters, chain nose pliers. You will need an ear wire. We are using these green faceted glass teardrops. The hole is at the top. We will also be using these green and gold round 8mm rhinestone beads. These can be found on howcraftcollection.com. We are using gold tone 22 gauge wire. And here we go. We are going to start by cutting an 11-inch length of 22 gauge wire. We're going to pick up our teardrop. We're going to string that down about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. And we are bending that wire up, coming over, making sure it's nice and tight. Bending the other wire. And I just want to check it and make sure that that wire is butted right up against to the top of the teardrop. Now I'm going to come back in with my round nose pliers and I'm finding the center of the teardrop and I'm just going to make a slight bend. We're going to take this long wire and we are going to just twist it around the back so that the short wire is secure. Now we're going to come back in and we are going to form a wrapped loop. So we're using our round nose pliers, we're placing it right about there, and we're going to bend that wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and we're just leaving this wire alone. We are going to switch hands and we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3. Now let's remove it. And we're going to grab our wire cutters and we're going to very carefully trim off that little end. And we're going to flatten out our loop. And we're just going to tap that little wire down so there are no sharp edges. Let's start wrapping the wire around. So we're going to come back in and we are going to start wrapping. The tricky part is making sure that the top of the teardrop stays directly under the loop. So we have to form a few wraps to secure the bead. And as we're wrapping, we're making sure that the wire is right up against the other coils. So we're just wrapping it around. And we are going to wrap down until you can no longer see the side wires. So we're just coming down and we're wrapping. We're wrapping. And I think this will be our last wrap. Now I like to grab it with my thumb, and we are just bending that wire up, and I'm holding it with my thumb, and I'm going to come back over and I'm going to wrap 1, 2, and then we're going to come back in, trim off that little end. We're going to gently tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. The front of the bead looks like this. The back of the bead will look like that. Now we're going to cut approximately 2.5 inches of 22 gauge wire, and we are going to form a partial wrapped loop. So we're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back. I like to come in and open it. And we are going to attach it to our dangle. And I'm switching hands. And we are going to wrap 1, 2, 3, and we're going to remove it, trim off that little end. Of course, I like to flatten my loops, which is a little bit tricky with the dangle, but it can be done. And then we want to tap this little wire down so there are no sharp edges. Now we're going to grab our rhinestone bead and we're going to string that down. And I want my loop to face this way so that when we attach the ear wire, it will attach correctly. So the bead is nice and tight up against that loop, and we're going to form another wrapped loop. So we're going to bend the wire back, move the pliers up, bend the wire towards you, move the pliers to the side, bend the wire back, and then we are going to switch hands and wrap 1, 2, 3, remove it, trim off that little end. We are going to flatten out our loop and gently tap that wire down so there are no sharp edges. I'm going to twist it a little bit so it's nice and straight. Our last step is to attach our ear wire. This is how you open and close an ear wire. We're just going to open it. I want this little wire to be on the back, so we're going to attach it and close the ear wire. And there you have it, how to create my Redondo earrings. If you are watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe at Howcraft USA. Follow us on Instagram at Howcraft Collection Beads. Be sure to visit howcraftcollection.com for more inspirational DIY projects and for all your jewelry making needs. New beads are added weekly, and each week, howcraftcollection.com features an amazing new sale. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.